Hi, I'm Jack Draper. Shout out to QualityShot Tennis.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Roland Garros Power Rankings, edition number 2 for the ATP side. For the men's side, I can't wait to get into this, honestly, because we have, as you can see on screen, this was our first edition of the Power Rankings from about 2 weeks ago, actually. Since then, we've had Monte Carlo. Andre Rublev came out on top. Boy, Mr. Boy came out on top. He looked really good, to be fair to him as well. First Masters 1000 win as well. So a big win for him. It's going to mean that he's going to move up the power rankings, as you can imagine. And we're going to look at everyone else's results as well. And this list is going to start to, well, it's going to start to move around for sure. Before we get into it, though, remember to that like button. Do subscribe if you are new, and also do leave a rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. On top of that, thank you to all our members. Your support is greatly appreciated. Honestly, it's incredible the amount of people that we're getting to become members. So do continue to support us if you can, to make sure that you get the best content possible. On top of that, over 80% of you still are not subscribed. Come on, guys, hit that subscribe button. We've hit 5K. Thank you to everyone for that. And road to 10K is now in motion. So let's get there. Okay, so let's quickly just go through what the power rankings were initially, and then we'll start molding it, going through it, changing it. If you're unsure of how the power rankings work, do check out my previous video. It's a form guide for Roland Garros. Very briefly, it's based mainly on current form, and then we also look at previous results at Roland Garros, at the Slam, and the surface as well, and also looking at form this year. Okay, so Medvedev was at the top because we hadn't had any real clay court tournaments, and he'd made 5 finals. He'd won multiple tournaments. Carlos Alcaraz at 2, Djokovic at 3, Sinner at 4, Norrie at 5, Rune at 6, Fritz at 7, Tsitsipas at 8, Rublev at 9, Felix Auger-Aliassime at 10. Now, this is not, by the way, a list of people from 1 to 10 who I think are going to win Roland Garros. Even when we get to the week before Roland Garros, it's not going to be that. It's going to be who I think personally is the most informed 10 players from 1 to 10 going into the tournament. So let's then have a look, because number 1, I don't think is going to be Medvedev anymore. Now, he didn't have such a bad Monte Carlo, though, I have to say. I think he'll be pretty happy. He made the round of 16, then beat Zverev, of course. I think Zverev, in all honesty, should have beaten him. He should have. I think we can safely say that. And then Holger Rune beat him in straight sets, and I have to say he looked very comfortable doing it. And it was a little bit reminiscent of when Carlos Alcaraz beat Medvedev in the it would have been the Indian Wells final. So yeah. Now, Felix Auger-Aliassime was injured, by the way, so he's definitely in danger. A couple of people that had really good weeks. Lorenzo Musetti looked really good. He beat Novak Djokovic, of course, in the round of 16, made the quarterfinals, lost to Jannik Sinner in straight sets. He looked good against Djokovic, no doubt. Djokovic, I think, struggling a little bit with the elbow injury as well. But Djokovic never really plays well at Monte Carlo, so it's going to be hard to potentially move Djokovic down, because it's in line with what we normally expect of him from Monte Carlo. He lost in the second round last year to Davidovich Fokina. Even years when he's gone on to win Roland Garros, he's never done well at Monte Carlo. So he's only won it twice, that tournament. Fritz did really well as well, of course. I thought I was really impressed with him. I think, look, he made the semi-finals, lost in 3 sets to Andre Rublev, beat Stefanos Tsitsipas. That was a great win, I think. Also beat Lehechka and Wawrinka. I mean, those are some really big wins for sure. So those are huge victories for him. And yes, the semi-finals were Sinner, Rune, Rublev, and Fritz, and then of course Sinner and Rune final. Rune and Rublev final, and Rublev came out on top. So we're gonna have to move these little bits and bobs around. So I think at the moment we're going to take Medvedev out here. Now, Alcaraz was injured, but we're going to move him up 1. We're also going to move up Djokovic. And I don't think we can look much into that in terms of form. I think Musetti plays a really good tennis. We're going to move Sinner up to 3 from 4. I think that's fair. Then Rune and Rublev. Now I'm going to move Rublev up. I'm not going to move him up so much that he gets to like 3 or 4, but I'm going to move him up to 5, I think, which is pretty fair. Let's see if I can do this off the top of my head first and then see how it looks. Fritz at 6. That's probably fair. Musetti, I think, needs to be in there now. I think maybe Musetti can replace Felix and even Zverev, I think. But we need to put Medvedev in there as well. Actually, I think Sinner, Rune, Rublev, Fritz, Medvedev. And then I think Tsitsipas at 8. Zverev in there. How does that look? How does that look? Is that right? Now I put Alcaraz at 1 because he won a clay court tournament. He's one of the only players, and he has a little bit of an advantage here, honestly. I mean, I've taken Cam Norrie out. Is that right? Is that right? Because Cam Norrie made a final of one event. Again, they were 250s, but also won and beat Carlos Alcaraz in the other. He lost to Cerundolo in the first round, who solid player. It's a bad loss, though. Does that warrant him coming out of the power rankings? I think it takes him just outside, in all honesty. I just think a first round loss. I don't know, can you justify keeping him in there? Actually, I think we need to change Alcaraz because Alcaraz didn't play Monte Carlo, so I think that goes against him. I know he's injured, but at least Djokovic played. He got some wins under his belt. You know, he made the round of 16. I think that's only fair. Fritz as well. So we've got number 1 Djokovic. And let's see how this this feels. Djokovic at 1. Lost to Musetti in the round of 16, but of course had a fantastic year this year so far. He is playing. By the way, this is going to change in a week's time because we've got loads of events going on, and I think pretty much everyone on this list, or majority, I think maybe Medvedev isn't playing. Everyone else, though, is from what I know. So we've got Barcelona going on, we've got Munich going on, and we've also got tournament in Bosnia going on as well. So Djokovic, Alcaraz, Rune I know is playing, Tsitsipas is playing, Zverev's playing. Not sure about the others, but this list is definitely going to move around again. So Djokovic at 1, Alcaraz at 2, Sinner at 3, Rune at 4, Rublev at 5, Fritz at 6, Medvedev at 7. Have I dropped him too far? Have I dropped Medvedev too far? I don't think so, because I think we need to take into account the clay courts. Like the clay court tournaments now have a lot more emphasis in the power rankings going forward now, so I think that's fair. And also looking at then, and the secondary factor is looking at previous clay court performances, Roland Garros performances. Now Medvedev has made, by the way, a quarterfinal of Roland Garros. He's also made a round of 16, so 7 is about right because you would be 7 or 8 ranked to make the quarterfinals at the Slam. So that's probably fine. Tsitsipas, I mean, he lost to Fritz. Fritz played some really good tennis. He was a defending champion. I think that's fine to keep him there at 8 at the moment. I think he will, and I would expect him to rise, but at the moment, I'm not really sure. Zverev at 9. I mean, Zverev, yeah, I mean, he should have won that match against Medvedev. Made the round of 16, so, a couple of decent wins. But against Medvedev, he was serving for the match. He had 2 match points, and also the surface as well should suit him more. So he'll be disappointed to lose that. And then Musetti at 10. Then he creeps in there. Impressive win over Djokovic. Made the quarterfinals. So that's, I think, fair. Just outside, so I put Norrie in there just because I think he's going to come out. He's going to come back up, I think. I'd be very, very surprised if we don't see him in the top 10 of our power rankings in our final edition anyway. Khachanov made a round of 16 loss to Rublev. He's had some really good results, to be fair, as well. But just not quite doing it for me yet. Just not quite doing it for me. Tommy Paul didn't play Monte Carlo. Lost in Houston first round. And Lehechka obviously has some good wins. He beat, Rusevori, Dimitrov, lost to Fritz in 3. Yeah. And then actually TFO, we have to put TFO in there because, TFO won Houston. He didn't play Monte Carlo, which is why I don't have him in my power rankings. But I think he could be all right. I mean, he lost in 3 very tight sets to Rusevori in the Barcelona Open first round. That will be a big blow to him. And that's why as well I won't have him in the Roland Garros power rankings this week. But that could change, although it won't change for next edition. He'll have to do something big for the rest of the clay court swing, I think. But he will be disappointed because he looked really good in Houston. And I just think he needs to get acclimatized. He was in Monte Carlo, but as a spectator, he would have been really fatigued, I think, going into Monte Carlo and probably didn't want to get injured. So, okay, I think I'm happy with this. So, our Roland Garros power rankings, our second edition, we've got Djokovic at 1, Alcaraz at 2, Sinner at 3, Rune at 4, Rublev at 5. Rublev, of course, 1. Monte Carlo. Do we need to have Rublev above Rune, do you think? I think we do, actually. I think we do, because Rublev's had better results anyway this year. And Rune made the final, but he didn't beat him, so why should he be above him? Makes no sense. So yeah, Rune at 5, Fritz at 6, Medvedev at 7, Tsitsipas at 8, Zverev at 9, and Musetti at 10. And just outside, so our contenders to break through in the next few weeks, but that could change as well. Cam Norrie, who's dropped out, Khachanov, Paul, Lehechka, and TFO. So the only we've had, and also FAA as well, because he's dropped out. So Zverev and Musetti have come in, they're the movers in. Norrie and FAA have moved out, and then we've got a new man at the top with Djokovic. Just because I think it's a bit too trigger happy to go Rublev at 1. I think we need to see more of him from the rest of the clay court swing. Same with Rune, same with Sinner as well. Okay, let me know your thoughts as well. Who do you think should be in your top 10? Who's in your top 10 if you're basing it on the criteria that I have? And yeah, let me know your thoughts on who you think is going to win this week as well in the tournaments and who might potentially move massively in these power rankings. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you on the next video.